Good evening everyone, we are back for more live action for Cone Racing League, and look at that, we are racing under the skylines of the Marina Bay circuit held in Singapore, which held its first ever night race back in 2008 where Fernando Alonso took a controversial victory when his teammate crashed into the walls and called a safety car, and 1 year later it all went bad for them after Nelson Piquet left the team and snitched on the team, and yeah, Renault, the team boss of Renault, got sacked for that. And yeah, that was a good first race in 2008, and hopefully we'll have more good live action here in CRL. And look at it, it is raining in CRL in qualifying. Full qualifying session for 18 minutes in Q1, 15 minutes in Q2, and Q3 is the top 10 shootout. So in Q1, the top 15 drivers go through, and the bottom 5 get knocked out. And in Q2, the top 10 drivers go through, and the bottom 5 get knocked out, and obviously the top 10 shootout ready for Q3. So first driver out there is Milan, out on the full wet intermediate tyres. So full wets are required in this qualifying session because look at that, it is pouring down with rain, and hopefully our weatherman Het Bompje will supply us with information. We are getting towards the closing stages in CRO. Is what a thriller it's been, and the championship could be decided today if Walter wins this race and Giroud has retired, but I don't think Giroud will do that, and Walter has to win this race if he wants the championship to be won here. But I think the championship will continue all the way to next round or round after that, depending where Giroud will finish. It's most likely in Walter's hands. There's no way that any other driver can catch up to him unless he makes a big mistakes in these next 4 races, but I highly doubt so. All he needs to do is just keep it clean and get those results in, and he will become CRO's brand new world champion. We're on board with Milan then on the full wet tyres. I seen on his outlap that he was sliding a bit, wheel spin as well, so he's just testing out the limits of the car on the track, see what it can do in these wet conditions. Very interesting then, will it stay like this for Q2 or Q3? Because if it does, and it's dry for the race, that means anyone can start whatever tyres they want to, and that's most preferably the medium compound tyres. You don't want to start those softs because they wear away quite significantly around here. And oh, he's crashed into the wall, has Milan, and I wonder if he's got any front wind damage. Judging by that, possibly, because he's going all the way, he's going off the 2 corners, and when he comes to pitch, yes he will. So already Milan having troubles, and he can't even get in the pit lane correctly. He went off the track and hit the wall. So into the pits he comes in. He'll be very frustrated with himself with that one, pushing too hard on his outlap. So here's Het Bompje then. He finished P6 in the last race, which was Austria, and we saw Austria having a thriller race around Austria where Toto Pease won ahead of Walter after those two went toe to toe throughout the whole race. The 36 laps was just between Walter and Pease, and really claimed P3 after he took the podium away from Giroud, Walter's championship rival, after he got a 5-second time penalty. Mark finished in P5. He dropped to the back of the grid after he collided with his teammate. He got squeezed. It was 3 wide between those 3. He wants to forget about that very quickly. Is Mark here tonight? He should be in the Alpha Tower. Yeah, he is. He's got his teammate Foul Fury. So welcome back for Foul Fury for another race. Het Bompje, AJ finished in P7 ahead of Het Bompje, Real DC P9 and Nathan P10. And we had 6 DNFs. It was a fantastic thrilling race to watch. So the whole 36 laps had different groups and trains performing as Het Bompje always hits the wall in that left-hander there. That can be a very difficult corner because you want to mark that curve on the entry. You want to go as wide as you can, switch back through under the Anderson Bridge. You can see, and then short shifting all the way to 5th gear to try and reduce that wheel spin on the exit. It's a difficult track in the drive, but in the wet it's very difficult, and some drivers were not hoping for rain for tonight's race because it can drag on, but obviously we've got a time limit in qualifying, so it won't matter. But the race is typically 2 hours, a 2-hour limit, where we see countdown back in the 2014 race here at Singapore. Safety cars occur in every race around Singapore, in leagues or in the actual Grand Prix as well, because it's so easy to crash around here, lose the car. You can see Het Bompje, then the rear is sliding away from him, and now he makes his way through the penultimate corner. So let's see what lap time he sets and what everybody else has to beat. and it's going to be a 157.0. Next across the line is the Williams, or is it an Alpine? Danny Boyd's retired somewhere, not quite sure where. Anyways, who else we're going to go on board with? I think the Alpine went back in the pit lane, or the Williams. Jaime has invalidated his lap time. There's a Haas going around the final corner. That is Rudy. Let's see what he's doing. He's in the pit lane. He's got back in the pits. So I wonder if he made a mistake on that lap or invalidated it. It doesn't say he's invalidated it, so he must have made a mistake or he's not happy with something. Into the pits he goes. Oh, he's lost his front wing. That's why he's back in the pit lane. So there's debris out there due to Rudy colliding with the wall. Chirivis has gone purple in that middle sector. He's looking to try take defend P2 most likely towards P's, because in the championship Walter is leading by 92 points and ahead of Jerome Vizza. Total P's is only 30 points away from Jerome Vizza, so I think Jerome Vizza's main rival for tonight is Total P's. In fact, for the next 3 races, including this one, the 4th, will be Total P's. I think first is a bit too far away. And here comes Chirivis around the final corner. Let's see what he can do. It's going to be a 55.5, only a few hundreds quicker than Walter. So Chirivis then on provisional pole with Mark sat there in P3 in the Alpha Tauri. Next across the line is the Alpine. But started flying lap. Was that Milan? Yes, it was Milan. After he came back to the pits after losing his front wing on his previous lap. Seavork Gamer then in the Aston Martin. Coming around this right-hander slow corner, so you can be really careful of traction as well. Turn 18. You want to ride the curve to turn 19 as well. Try and avoid the wall and exit. Bobby has got quickest with a 55.5. And here comes C4 Gamer then. What lap time will this be? Will it be pole? Oh yes, by a massive margin. It's 4/10 clear of Het Bobbia, so it's a Dutch 1, 2, 3, 4. And C4 Gamer with the quickest time of a 55.1. So the times are getting rapid and rapid as the drivers start to get used to the wet conditions. Jaime is going to be the next one to cross the line. He's making his way through turn 18 now. And turn 19 is going to be a difficult corner. Short shift straight away to 5th gear. You can see the rears are starting to slide as he applies the throttle. And into the pit lane comes the Williams driver. So on our mini map or full map, there's a Red Bull. And Val Fiori has invalidated his lap time. So we'll go on board with the Red Bull then. Let's see who that is. That's a Griff. Yeah, it is to Griff. He's got 1 second quicker in the middle sector. This is on for an improvement. Where can he put his Red Bull? Let's find out, shall we? And it's a 56.3 up into P6 ahead of Mr. BT. Down there in P7, there's a Mercedes right behind him. Hopefully that Mercedes is not on a lap time, but he is pushing though, that Mercedes. So I'm not sure if Walter caught up to him in the wrong moment at the wrong time. He's backed off it now, and Mr. BT heads off into the pit lane as Walter is about to start another flying lap time as Jerome Vizza has gone quicker by a 10th ahead of C4 Gamer then. So these times getting more quicker, and as the drivers start to find their limits around the track, Mark's got up into P3 with a 55.4. We've still got like half the field to set a lap time yet, and most of them are on that outer laps. As you can see on the left hand side of the screens, some of them on intermediates level. Yeah, that looks like intermediate conditions to me. So I think these drivers on the wets should come back to the pit lane because they don't want to waste too much time out there, potentially get caught out there at the end if they do make mistakes on the intermediate laps. So Nathan's one of them ahead of AJ in the Mercedes as he gets out the way for Total P's. Total P's out there, he's on a flying lap, so let's go on board with him then. He is on the full wet tyres, but he can see that other drivers on the intermediate tyres, I know he's in a party with other people, so he already knows that I think the intermediates will be a better tyre. So will he decide to continue with his lap time, as you can see he's doing, or come back into pits in the last corner? Rotating his car around turn, I don't know what turn that is, I ain't done my research around here, but that's the 3rd DRS zone as he makes his way towards the right hander, breaking up the 100 metre board. He misses the apex by a margin. Short shifting on exit to reduce that wheel spin. Next across the line is a Haas, I think that's Rudy. It was actually Nathan who crossed the line. The Alfa Romeo is next across the line, that might be ISO on night. He's on his outlap on the intermediate tyres, yes it is ISO on night. The Red Bull's next across the line as well. Who is that? That's going to be Tegriff. Where Tegriff? He's in the pit lane, so Tegriff then is in the pit lane. And let's see what Total Peace does. Does he come into the pit lane this lap? No, he continues to finish his lap. Makes his way around the penultimate corner. He goes wide, and that will cost him a lot of time. And yeah, it's a 57.8 in P9. Interestingly, Total Peace was one of the drivers who was hoping for rain, and he's down there in P9. Bearing in mind it was his first lap time, so he's got more to show. As Ferg's had a problem at the right-hander. Now he's lost his end plate, and I wonder if he outbroke himself there. He's in the Aston Martin. As you can see then, just going off as the barriers, as he's got no downforce in front of the car. So Ferg then has to come back in the pit lane. He was on the wet tyres at that stage. Where's the AlphaTauri of Foul Fury? He's got off, he's hit the wall, he's lost all of his front wing. And here comes Foul Fury. He goes into the pit lane then, so I reckon the majority of the drivers will all switch over to the intermediate tyres. So on board with an interrunner, and that is AJ. Ferg is still stationary now. He's got going, so he was down there for a little bit. Luckily there was no traffic approaching, so he didn't have to stay down there too long. So AJ, on the one of the drivers to go out on the intermediate tyres. His brother is also out there on the inters. Let's go on board with him as he makes his way towards the left-hander and towards the right-hander as well. These slow speed corners where it's really crucial to get to break traction at the right moment. Coming towards turn 19. Turn 18 we go. So he takes that down his fourth gear. If we go, short shift on the exit, and this lap time will be quicker by 53.3, 1.7 seconds quicker than Jeroen Visser. So it's definitely intermediate tyres then for the drivers, as Knight goes quicker with a 52.8. Nathan's already done one lap on these tyres, so he must have validated or made a mistake somewhere, but Knight then already up there with a 52.8 as the times start to tumble down. On board with AJ in the Mercedes. Yeah, you can see majority of the drivers are going on the intermediate tyres then as we approach the 5-minute mark. AJ almost losing it on traction there as he makes his way towards the penultimate corner. What lap time will this be? Will he go quicker? Yes, by a margin. 51.9 from AJ. Haas is about to cross the line, and that's Rudy. It's a 52.0, about under a tenth away from AJ's time. So times are tumbling in these closing stages of qualifying. Mr. BT's out there 1.2 seconds quicker on his previous lap. AJ, Indian Jesus is out there as well. McLaren's crossed the line now to start a flying lap. That was Dewell. And the Red Bull is the closest towards the line. That is to Griff on his out lap. So we've still got plenty of drivers yet to set a lap time on the intermediate tyres, because as you can see there on that graphic, majority of them are on wets. So they all got to switch over to the intermediates then and see what they can do. 5 minutes left to go in this qualifier session. This is the time you want to get it absolutely spot on. And Griff makes his way across the line to start his flying lap on the intermediate tyres then. Going down into tail 1, double lock up there to clip the apex nicely, use the second curb. He validates, he took too much curb there. You'll see that happen a lot in these qualifying laps. LP's next across the line, and that's Milan. Goes up into, that's actually Jai. He goes up into P3. Nathan goes up into P4. Total Peace has come out of the pit lane on the intermediate tyres. Alfa Romeo about to cross the line next. Is that Head Bonpierre? It's Milan who's crossed the line to go P1 with a 51.5. Ferrari goes P2. That's Mr. BT in second place. Hasn't crashed yet, so that's a good side so far in qualifying. Red Bull's about to start his lap. AlphaTauri next to cross the line, and that was Foul Fury who started his flying lap. India Jesus pops himself up into P8. Next to cross the line is Mercedes, or that's Walter on his, that's his teammate about to cross the line next. He's coming around turn 19 now. AJ, he doesn't improve, and here comes Walter for his first flying lap on the intermediate tyres. DRS is enabled as Walter gets a taste of DRS for the first time in qualifying. So does the Alfa Romeo, so surprised that the DRS is enabled despite having these wet conditions. The 51.4 is the benchmark everybody has to beat now. Is C-Raw Gamer, and AJ's crashed. AJ's retired actually. Where's that? That is halfway down the straight, or a quarter down the straight, and he's lost his front wing. He's definitely out of Q1. That's a massive shame for AJ. Finished in P6. Well, that's the championship standings actually. He finished, where did he finish in the last race? P7. And now he's going to start down. In fact, he got knocked out of Q1 last time, didn't he, in Austria? So that's the second consecutive time that AJ's got himself knocked out of Q1. This time wasn't through a crash though. And Walter coming under the Anderson Bridge now, taking it very cautiously. Going down to first gear for the extra rotation, short shifting his way up through the gears now. We've got an Alpine across the line, and that Alpine 1.9 seconds quicker in that middle sector from Walter. All he needs to do is keep it nice and clean. And I think somebody's made a mistake. And a few people have gone onto the soft compound tyres. Somebody has made a mistake. Is that ISO9? That must be Mr. BT. Yeah, he must have crashed or spun on the way into the pit lane because he was stationary for a few seconds. Indy Jesus pops himself up into P10. Milan's retired, but is that Aristo? Mr. BT is also retired as well. We've got a few people on the soft compound tyres. That is to Griff and Rudy, but how many seconds left to go, or how many minutes left to go, shall I say? 1 minute 50 seconds. So to Griff has potentially knocked himself out because everybody downwards should improve. And here comes Duel in P13. He's definitely got to improve or set a lap at least. And here he comes around the final corner. That's P10 for Duel. And Aston Martin is about to make his way across the line. Is that Ferg? Ferg is up into P13. Just gets himself out of the bottom range. But what about Total P's? 3.2 seconds quicker in that middle sector. He needs to keep it nice and tidy. Doesn't want to be taking too much risk because he's down in P17. His championship, or his rival down in P1. It's up into P1, shall I say. Somebody is, I think he's getting out of the way for the McLaren there, as you can see in your full map. 1 minute 5 seconds left to go. Then only one more lap time for these drivers. Total P's makes his way around turn 18 now, taking a lot of curb on the entry. So this one turn 19, avoiding the sausage curb there. Gets back in the power as we make our way through the penultimate corner. This lap time is going to be a 51.5, and he goes up into P4, so he is safe for the time being. He should be safe. Alfa Romeo next across the line. That is Knight, who goes up into P11. One of the McLarens is down there in the drop zone. Indian Jesus is one of the drivers who are in the drop zone, along with Griff. Griff's on his outlap. Is he going to make it? How many seconds left to go? He came out very late, as you can see, he cut the corners there, but I don't think he'll make it. There's 20 seconds left to go. And there's a lot of traffic ahead of him, so he is on the cusp. And he's on the soft tyres as well. He is on the softs with 15 seconds left to go. Can he make it? You can see he cut the corners there. You don't want to compromise head bump here, because if you do that, that's an instant quality ban if you do that. 5 seconds left to go. Griff is on the verge of getting knocked out. He's going to make it. 2, 1. Oh, he just didn't make it. Oh, that was so close. He will be fuming with himself there. Cutting the corners, but still couldn't make it. And one of the McLarens is about to cross the line now. Is that Duel? He goes up into P10, does Duel. Where's Ferg? Says he's 1.2 seconds down in the middle sector. He's coming around the final corner now, and it's going to be, oh, it's a 53.9, and sadly for him, he has been knocked out. Where's Rudy, in fact? He's on the soft compound tyres. 1/10 up in the first sector, but that's because of DRS as well. There's a few cars ahead of him. That's Walter. Is Walter on a flying lap? If he is, he's got no... Yeah, no, he's not. So Walter gets out of the way for Rudy. Jeroen Vizsla will not take pole position, by the way, because he's got a Q3 ban. So if he does make it to Q3, he will not take pole. Don't be surprised if he retires in Q3 and starts P10. Rudy coming on the Anderson Bridge. Doesn't look too bad, does it, on those soft compound tyres? Doesn't look like he's struggling too much. You can see a bit of wheel spin on exit there. Coming into his right hander now. Have to brake at the 100 metre board. 1/10 up in that middle sector. He goes wide. Misses the apex completely. You can see him sliding all over the place. Alex down there in P19. He's in the middle sector as well. Alex is in the pit lane, so he's not going to improve. Foul Fury is also on the soft compound tyres. Indian Jesus is about to cross the line in P14. You can see Foul Fury sliding on the curb there. Indian Jesus goes back in the pit lane. And Foul Fury then makes his way towards the line, and it's going to be P14. He gets into Q2 on those soft compound tyres. And Rudy's up into P2. So softs were working at the end of qualifying, but as you can see the drivers were struggling quite a lot. So Indian Jesus has been knocked out, Ferg in P17 has been knocked out, to Griff in P18, Danny Boy in P19, and Alex, who did not set a lap time, in P20. So the bottom 5 there has been confirmed for you, and we'll move on to Q2. So Rudy used to set a softs up. Jeroen there in P1 by 3/10. Seavor Gamer looking good in the Aston Martin when his teammate got knocked out, sadly for him. Mark down there in P4. Nathan looking good in P5, Total P's in P6. Bompia P7, Milan in P8, Walter in P9, Mr. BT in P10, Double in P11, Jaime in P12, ISO9 in P13. Foul Fury making it through on the softs in P14. AJ, who crashed. In fact, there's 6 drivers out in Q2 because AJ crashed, so therefore he can't take part with a damaged car despite making it to Q2. So we'll only have 14 cars showing up in Q2. So AJ, Indian Jesus, Ferg, Griff, Danny and Alex have all been knocked out of Q2, sadly for them. They can join the sidelines with me and watch the action. Coming up in Q2 and Q3. Good evening everybody in the chat, I hope you're doing well. Sadly we don't have Joachim here tonight. He was supposed to be here with me, but sadly for him he's got internet connection issues. Q2 then, if it's dry for Q2, the people who set the best lap time on the soft compound tyres go through, or your best lap time in the Q2, if you're making the top 10, that's the tyre you'll start on. So if they go P5 on the mediums and etc., you know, they go start the tyre on that race, or the race on that tyre. We're just waiting to go into Q2. Hopefully we don't have any problems here in these early stages of this session. Do you hate it when people keep inviting you're not going to join? Like they send you like 1-2 invites thinking you're going to join, then you're sending like 3 or 4. Should really turn my notifications off, but at the same time, if I'm not going to join on the first 2-3 invites, I'm going to join on the 4th one. Oh dear, looks like we have got problems then in Q2. In fact, on the right hand side you can see people readying up and are about to go off into Q2. It is dry for this qualifying session then, so that rule being on the dry compound tyres will apply for the race. I wonder, will we see people starting the medium compound tyres, because I know this track is not really good on tyre wear, especially on the soft compound tyres. Soft's only about 5 or 6 laps. Do you remember the Hypersoft tyres back in 2018 or something like that? They died out very quickly. I remember people in 5-lappers used to qualify on the Ultra Softs, as it was back then. I missed those tyre compounds where you had Ultra Softs, Hypersoft, Super Soft, Soft, Medium Hard, Super Hard as well. That was barely used. So, first out of the track is the Alpine, and that Alpine is Milan. He was out in Q1, so he's going out very early in qualifying. He's on the soft compound tyres, so wonder, being out early on the softs, will he do a banker lap? Then later on in the session he'll go on the medium compound tyres. Be interested to see what tyres people go on later in qualifying. Tracks like Hungary, what else is there? Hungary, probably China, Spain possibly, Bahrain possibly, but it's not too bad around Bahrain like it used to be. What other tracks are there that people usually go on the medium compound tyres in qualifying? Not just short qualifying, but long qualifying as well. Yeah, this track for sure. So tracks like that, you'll see people go on the medium compound tyres later, because that's the best race tyre. Depends if, oh, we almost lost it there. It depends if you want track position. Track position is really important around here. It's quite difficult to overtake. You need to be very close to your opponent behind as well, so that's another factor in this race. Safety cars could change all that. You could be a lucky soft runner, and the safety car comes out when you have to pit for a brand new set of tyres. But what tyres do you go into? I think it's hards, because I think they can take it to the end. The strategy here should be mediums to hards or soft to hard. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's a two-stop strategy. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm not quite sure. Is a two-stop the way you want to go though around here? Is places like Mexico as well. I think that's a two-stop strategy. Alright then, so let's go on board with Milan for a lap time around Singapore. Coming into turn 1, you want to take a lot of curb on the entry down into 4th gear. Same with this one, but you want to kiss the apex into turn 3. Get back into the gears, short shift as well to reduce that wheel spin on exit. Bring it over to the left hand side, use all the curb here. Kiss the apex on it here. You want to bring it out wide, but don't hit the wall, which he has done, so he's lost himself a bit of time by hitting the wall, because you want to use all this track if you can. He hit the wall again, so it's not going well for him. 26.7 in the first sector. He locks up and he goes wide, and that's his lap time compromised and ruined. So yeah, he's not happy with that one, as you can see. So we'll go on board with somebody else then. That is Jeroen Visser. Hopefully he didn't distract him too much. It's in a slow speed corner, but oh, Jeroen's lost a tyre. Jeroen Visser has lost a wheel. Obviously he hasn't, but look at that. He's got no wheel. He's got no wheel. This game is so funny sometimes. I can't believe what I'm seeing right here. This game can be so funny. Like, if you join late in the sessions, you don't have a helmet. Sometimes you don't have a steering wheel either. Mr. BT on the medium compound tyres, making his way through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3. Had a slight lock-up on entry into turn 1. Make his way through turn 4 now. You want to use all the curb. You want to kiss the apex here, which he has done. Bring it out wide, but don't hit the wall. Now this is the place you expect to see most overtaking happening around here. Into turn 6 we go. Break at the 100 metre board just after it. Mr. BT said to me before the race he was going to use ABS, but he's turned it off, so I'm credit for bravery there for Mr. BT, because he doesn't really use no ABS, but he is using it around Singapore, which is quite difficult, especially when you're not used to it. Don't go too out wide through here, because you want to get a good exit coming out through here. You can see the rear just sliding as he makes his way through the Anderson bridges. ISO night. Not a representative lap time. Mark goes quickest with a 36.2. Total Pease goes quickest with a 35.9. And the Haas is next across the line. That's Rudy with a 36.3. The Alpine now ready to cross the line, and that's going to be Milan. Mark's up into P2. Foul Fury's in P4. Next driver to cross the line is the Haas driver, and that's going to be Nathan JB. Followed by the Alfa Romeo. Nathan goes P5, the Alfa Romeo goes P... That's it, Bompier. I think he might have validated his lap time. Duo goes P5. AJ... Walter goes P2. And here comes Mr. BT. It's a 36.6. So, the best lap times are on the medium compound tyres. Will they switch over to the soft compound tyres? Because going out early in this medium compound tyres with the track evolving as well and ramping up for... He might want to go, I don't know, maybe. So they're the early stages of qualifying then. Interestingly, Nathan down there in P8 with a 37.9 suggests me that's a banker. So with Dual as well, a 37.5 their lap time, their first lap time. So could they switch over to the medium compound tyres later? We got a Williams. Let's cross the line. That is Jeroen. So remember, he's got a... Oh, we almost lost the car there. To exit at turn 19. Here comes turn 20 and turn 21. A 36.9. That's not bad for 3 wheels only. I wonder if he could see it, because would that be a distraction for him? I'm not quite sure if he could see it or not. Head Bompier down there in PLA. What's he doing? He's invalidated his lap time. C4 Gamer on the medium compound tyres with a 3.5 in that middle sector. Jaime also there. He's on the medium compound tyres, but not on a lap time, it seems. Here comes Seed, then makes his way to the right hander. Love these sequence of corners here. Take a lot of care with the entry for both corners. Bring it over to the right hand side. This one here gets close to the wall as you possibly can without hitting the barriers on the entry. Looks nicely hooked up for me. Taking a lot of care with entry at turn 19, or turn 18, turn 19. A bit of rear lost there. Turn 20 and turn 21. And here comes Seed then. He goes up into P5. Decent lap time on those medium compound tyres. A few errors. but he can rectify them later in this qualifying session. Next across the line, he's gone back in the pit lane, has Dual. Jeroen Visser down there, P14, he's invalidated his lap time. Just to reiterate that he has a Q3 ban, so don't expect him to go out in Q3 at all. He's allowed to make his Q3, but he'll start down in P10. It's funny how this game works sometimes, isn't it? Majority of drivers, they're back in the pit lane or going back in the pit lane. Jime's out there going for another lap time. His middle sector, what's it going to be? It's going to be a 4.0 that in comparison to C4 Gamer's time in the middle sector. That was a 3.5, so half a second off the pace with C4 Gamer there. So it'll be 5th downwards unless you can find a lot of time in that final sector. Let's see what tyres people going on for. Total P's is out there on an outlap on the same set of tyres, so I think people are definitely committed to go on those medium compound tyres. Here comes Giant coming through the final 2 corners then. What's it going to be? It's a 37.1, it's up into P8, it's just on the cusp and getting into the top 10 there, so he's in a bit of danger. Let's see what tyres people are on. So Mr. BT, Foul Fury on the soft compound tyres. Het Bompier has gone on the soft compound tyres. Let's have a look at him down there in the Alfa Romeo. He's committed to the softs. One of the 3 drivers who have set a lap time, along with Jeroen Visser and Milan. The 3 Dutchmen haven't set a lap time just yet, but Het Bompier on the soft compound tyres then. 6 minutes left to go. Will he be committed to start those soft compound tyres, I wonder? Sometimes Singapore can be good for racing, but at the same time it can be a little bit boring. But obviously with the high chance of a safety car around here, it's going to spice up the field. Let's see what strategy everybody goes for, because that could be a pivotal moment in the race. Got a few more people on the outlaps there. Let's see. Yep, majority of people on the medium compound tyres. Dual, Nathan, ISO Knight on the medium compound tyres. Somebody's just got off down there. In fact, the yellow flag has cleared up rather quickly, so back up to speed we go. So here comes Het Bompier then, coming around the final 2 corners, and let's see what lap time he could set. Obviously he's going to be very quick on these soft compound tyres. Now, approach at speed at turn 1. Clip the apex into turn 1, ride all the curb into turn 2, avoid the curb into turn 3. He didn't rotate the car as he would have wanted. We might have lost a bit of time through there. Coming into turn 4 we go. Yeah, look at that. That's the way you want to do it. Scraping the wall at exit. As we make our way down into turn 7 with a 26.5. Surprisingly, that's not the fastest first sector because he is on the soft compound tyres. Into turn 8 we go, another slow speed corner. Go back on the throttle there, using the short shifted to reduce that wheel spin. Up into 4th gear we go, 3rd gear for rotation for turn 9. Into turn 10 we go, flick it in. Don't go out too wide through here because you need to set up your corner in perfectly through here. Under the Anderson Bridge we go, to turn 13, taking a wide entry to get a really good exit. Straight to the car up, DRS open for this 3rd DRS zone. Coming into turn 14, breaking up the 100 metre board, kiss the apex on entry. How many invites this guy wanted to send me, Jesus. Into turn 15 we go, riding the curb there, and also here, bring it out to the right hand side. This could be very difficult, it could be easy to touch the wall there. You want to just ride all the curb through there without hitting the wall. Turn 18 and turn 19 we go, take it cautiously through there, and coming through turn 20 and turn 21. Easy corners, and this is going to be a 35.7. Interestingly, only 2/10 quicker than Total P's on those medium compound tyres. Total P's has gone quicker with a 35.6 on the medium compound tyres. Het Bompier, if that's his actual pace, he might be in a bit of a bother there because everybody else might find themselves improving. Will Het Bompier, is that his quickest that can Het Bompier go? Does he want to start on the medium compound tyres? Nathan's cost the lad to go to P6. His teammate Rudy is P5. Good lap time from him with a 36.1. Mr. BT on the soft compound tyres there. He's going to annoy a few drivers if he goes up the field, because I know majority of these drivers want to start on the medium compound tyre, which is the best race tyre and Mr. BT expects him to go up the order on those soft compound tyres. Makes his way around the final corner, and it's going to be P3, 2/10 behind Het Bompier. And Farrell Fury is also on the soft compound tyres as well, so we'll keep an eye on him. He's on his out lap. Majority of the drivers on their flying laps then. Let's have a look at Walter making his way down towards turn 7. Only a few hundred down in the first sector. As we make our way into another slow speed corner. Turn 8 we go. Now we're coming through turn 9, this left-hander. People go down to third gear for the extra rotation. He stays in fourth. As we make our way down into turn 10. This used to be called the Singapore Sling. 3 corners. We've seen Kamui Kobayashi mount that corner before and he hit the wall. Somebody else also did it as well. And obviously Kimi Räikkönen, where we had his crash through there back in 2008. Rotated the car nicely. DRS open. Activated it just a bit late, but nevertheless he got it open. Almost 2/10 quicker in that middle sector, so Walter is improving. They're doing more than 1 lap time. More people like Jaime go on the soft compound tyres. He's currently sat at P10 as Giroud Visser, interestingly, goes into P11 at 36.8, and Nathan JB is up into P3. Good lap time from him in the hash. And interestingly, for where is it? Giroud Visser down in P12. Well, there. How many minutes left to go? 1 minute 50 seconds. He's got 1 more lap time left. He can't go back in the pit lane because there's not enough time. So if he wants the soft compound tyres, he can't get it, and plus he's running out of fuel. That's a shame for him. He could possibly get knocked out of Q2 here, and I ain't seen that happen for a long time. He's got a Q3 ban anyway, but add more insult to injury. Look at that, you can see tyre marks everywhere. That right front tyre is causing tyre marks. That's a shame for Giroud Visser there. Making it more easier for Total Peas to grab second in the championship. Mr. BT is in the pit lane. Who else gets to cross the line? Milan has invalidated it. He's down in P6. What's his best lap time so far? His best is on the medium compound tyres. And that's it for him. He can't go for another lap time because he hasn't got enough time. So he'll start down in P6. And Mr. Farrell Fury up into P5 on the soft compound tyres then. Where's his teammate? He's down in the danger zone. Is Mark. Who's that car got off the track? Is that ISO Knight? Yeah, it is. ISO Knight has also been knocked out in Q2. And Mark's middle sector is a 3.7, a few hundreds down. C4 Gamer down there, P10. C4 Gamer has invalidated it. He could find himself being on the verge of elimination. Where's Duel? What's he doing? Duel is P12. Not on a lap time, it seems. Giroud Visser. So I think C4 Gamer will be safe. Obviously, ISO Knight's not doing anything down in P14 either, so Mark is safe as well. As he makes his way to... Is that Rain? Yeah, it is Rain as well. So Rain has came again, and he stays in P9. But thing is though, Mark will start on 3-lap whole medium tyres because he set his best lap time on the mediums, and he's done 3-lap on them. So Het Bompier, Mr. BT, Farrell Fury will all be starting on the soft compound tyres then. So expect them to have an early pit stop, where the rest of them will start on the medium compound tyres. So C4 Gamer then, panicking towards the last stage of qualifying, but he can hold his breath for a bit, knowing he's safe. Jaime P11 sadly for him. He's still on a lap time, so let's not discount Jaime. I thought he didn't have enough time left, but he's still on it. His teammate, however, is in the pit lane, so he can't do anything about it. Goes a bit deep into the Anderson, under the Anderson, but he's backed out as well, so he does not want to make it to Q3. He's already done 3 laps on those medium compound tyres anyway. The allocations these drivers have, they have 2 sets of medium compound tyres, so he'll start on a brand new set of mediums and save up a lot of softs towards the end if there is a late safety car. That's it for Q2 then. The biggest shocker of Q2 is Giroud Visser down in P13. That's not what he needs in his fight in P2 with Total Peas. Total Peas can see his rival down there in P13 because the battle for the championship is potentially over, you could say. But the battle for P2 is only 30 points away. There's 4 races left and Total Peas has the upper hand. Giroud Visser has to be careful that Total Peas is continuing his form yet again, while Giroud Visser has to find a way to try and prevent Total Peas from taking that P2 away from him. the battle for poles could be very interesting. Who will take it? Will it be Total Peas? Or will it be Walter? Could be somebody else. Could be Rudy, because he always brings surprises. There's your top 10 then. Total Peas quickest, only by 600s ahead of Het Bompier, who will start on those soft compound tyres. Nathan looking good in P4. I really hope he finds his rhythm, because he struggled throughout this whole season. And I really hope we could see him back on the podium, because I don't think he's been on the podium this season. Will Singapore be his race? Both Hasses looking strong, P4 and P8. AlphaTauri with Farrell Fury down in P5, Mark down in P9. So both AlphaTauris, both Hasses are in the top 10. And both Alpines with Milan and Total Peas. That's it for Q2. We're going into Q3. Good evening, Daniel. How are you doing, mate? And it's raining for Q3. Now, let's see then. In Q1, who had the upper hand? It was Walter who had the upper hand in Q1 ahead of Total Peas. Total Peas didn't really set a good lap time in Q1, but bearing in mind it was his first lap, so he didn't really have much to learn on that first lap. But these drivers already experienced rain in Q1, so there should be no excuse whatsoever that the drivers should be struggling, because they've already gone through that stage where they've experienced rain in Q1. They'll struggle a little bit. Maybe pressure will get to them, who knows. But the challenge is on again for the drivers. Unpredictability here in Singapore. I don't even know what the race is going to be like. Judging by that, it's going to be a dry race, because if it was a wet race, I guarantee you people would have gone on the soft compound tyres. So I think it should be a dry race. I can't see it being a wet race in the actual. Oh, somebody's lost their end plate. Is that an Alpine? That's an Alpine. And who's that? Is that Milan? That is Milan. For the second time, he has lost his end plate, like he did in Q1. And don't bottle it here. That's a shame for Milan. But obviously there's 10 minutes left to go, so he has to get back in the pit lane. But obviously with everybody being out of the track, he'll be out of sync. So expect him to be one of the last drivers to set a lap time then. AlphaTauri. Oh, he's hit the wall again. Please don't lose the wheel. All that progress to get to Q3. You don't want to lose it now. So the AlphaTauri is marked then as he leads the pack away. And remember, you can do more than one lap on these interiors, because the more laps you do, the better it gets. It's not like the soft compound tyre where you can do like one flying lap and that's it for you. But around here, you can do more than one lap. Oh, Milan, why did you retire for? There's no need for that. Unless he went too deep into that corner. Where's he retired? Halfway down towards turn 14 and 15. Come on, Milan. Then here comes Mark on a flying lap then, as he makes his way down into turn 1. Let's see how he takes it down into third gear. Third gear we go, using a lot of curb on the entry for both corners. Then you want to avoid the curb on the entry towards turn 3. Coming into turn 5 we go then. Another tricky corner here in terms of traction. You can see the rear sliding just a bit. No DRS as well. Let's see what his first sector is in comparison to the rest. It's going to be a 29.9. Taking the curb here, then lean your car on the curb on the exit. Another slow speed corner, so it's crucial that you get it absolutely right with traction. You can see, and then experimenting with the throttle. Back on the throttle we go then, as we head our way down into turn 10. Used to be the Singapore Sling. I wonder if the Singapore Sling was still here, would people be able to take that curb? Because as you can see with the curbs, you can't take them as you would have done like in the 2019-2020 game or something like that, or 2018 or the rest of the game. But let's say that Singapore Sling was still here. Can people take them? Will they bounce over the curb over into the wall they go? Because Monza, you can't do that either. You get the curbs, you're just screwed. Nice footwork from Mark there as he gets takes them out of right throttle into the corners. Coming into turn 17 now. Very easy to hit the wall and edge. He goes deep though. We've seen Daniel Ricciardo crash there back in 2013. How many invites is this guy sending? Is it glitched or something? And it's going to be a 31.6 from a 51.6 as Het Bompier goes quickest by 0.2. And here comes Total P's, goes quicker by another 0.2. And the Mercedes Aston Martin just under a few hundreds, and Mark goes into P5. Here comes Nathan JB P4. AlphaTauri Fiore goes P6, and Walter takes pole by 0.4. A huge margin. Everybody has to try and beat that now. Where's Mr. BT? Mr. BT down in P10. He's validated his lap time, so he's at a sync. They're all going for second lap time because your second lap time is always better than your first in these wet weather conditions. You always want to do 2 or 3 laps extra. Welcome everybody in this stream. I apologise a lot if you see a notification bar, a black box on the left hand side of your screen, because for some reason this guy invites me to his lobbies all the time and I don't want to join, or can't join. For some reason I just don't get that message. If I don't join the first 2 invites, I ain't going to join the next 10. Anyways, here Bob here then coming under the Anderson Bridge as we make our way down into turn 13. If you could get a really good exit around here, DRS enabled, you could get your opponent down into turn 14, but that's only if you're on different tyres really, because if you're on the same tyres then it's quite difficult. But if you're on old mediums versus new softs like we saw Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc do back in 2018, that's where you can see overtakes happen through there. Bob here taking the corners nicely then as he makes his way down into turn 17, the third sector, and there's yellow flags down there too. Milan, the only driver not to go out on the track as he crashed in qualifying. The AlphaTauri is ahead of Bob here, so keep an eye on him. Is that Mark again? Yep, it's Mark. So can he improve from P6 then as he makes his way towards the line? It's going to be P2. That's a good lap time for Mark. Only a 10 shy as Bob here goes into P3. Next across the line is Total P's. Can he get back pole position? Oh, he makes his way towards the line. He's spun. And he improves to P3. He does go quicker, but he's spun towards the line. Hopefully that's not rear wing damage, because if it is, it's going to affect you throughout the whole of qualifying session. You need that downforce, especially around here. And who else has crossed the line? Nathan goes up into P7 as Rudy is up into P3. Good lap time from the Dutchman there. Mark's up into P2, so it's Walter, Mark, Rudy and Total P's. Bob here attempt down as he goes for another flying lap. Nathan, what's he going to do? Has he backed off on this lap time? Not quite sure. His teammate's right behind him though. Mr. BT's in the pit lane as he hasn't set a flying lap just yet. Fiore is under a temp down on his previous best. You can see losing the rear as he goes in towards turn 7. With 4 minutes 45 seconds left to go, who could take pole position? Will it be Walter, Mark, Rudy or Total P? It's going to hit Bob here. Pull out something out the bag here. Bearing in mind, Het Bompier will start on the soft compound tyres because 3 drivers did their best lap time in Q2 on the soft compound tyres, and that is Mr. BT, Het Bompier and Fiore. So keep an eye on them then if they skyrocket up the order. It's really important for people like Het Bompier and Mr. BT to be up there as high as they can on the soft compound tyres, so they don't, because if they're behind the medium runners, that's their strategy really over basically, because they've got to pit really early in the race. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in this qualifying session then. We've got more drivers coming out of the track. Sevo Gamer on his out lap with Mr. BT, who hasn't set a flying lap yet. Mr. BT does not want to start down in P10 because he'll be surrounded by medium runners and that will compromise his strategy in race. He'll have the advantage of the start of the race, but later on it will come towards the medium runners, so he has to try and do his best to try and get up the order as far as he can. Fiore, the highest soft runner, is Het Bompier down in P5. He knows that, they all know that. Let's see what they can do. Is Wild to go for another lap time? It looks like he is, as Nathan in the middle set in the last set today is going for another lap time as well. Yeah, Nathan's going to go for another lap time on those intermediates. I think they got one more set of intermediates left. Do you have 3 sets of inters? I'm not quite sure, because they obviously used 1 set of inters or 2. That's really interesting because it was raining early in Q1 and people went on the inters, and they used like one or two sets of tyres. So I wonder how many tyres they got left in Q3. Dry for Q2, but in Q1 and Q3 it's been rain, and hopefully for the race, Nathan's got 3/10 quicker, as I just saw on the screen there. So he's on for an improvement, is Nathan JB. And Walter in P1 there. Val Fury has retired. Is that in the pit lane? I think it is. I can't see his car on the track, but Nathan JB and Rudy on a lap time as well. Both Hasses looking strong, but Nathan's on an improvement here, so we'll keep it on him. And our championship leader and pole sitter. Mark's retired from the session. He's down in P2, so he's had enough. 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. Head Bobby is retired. Total P's is retired. That's interesting because I thought maybe that's all they had. Walter's backed out of it. He knows that Mark and Total P's have retired, but bearing in mind there's Rudy left, and Rudy has invalidated it. No front wing damage, but I can see because he did have front wing damage earlier on. Sevo game, what's he doing? Nathan's also, he's 1.5 seconds down in the middle sector, so this is a weird qualifier session, to say the least, because they've run out of tyres, and I wonder if the race getting heavier, because look at that, it's more heavier than it's ever been. I dare say that's qualifying done. We've still got Sevo Gamer on a lap time here, down in P6. Nathan JB is in the pit lane along with Walter. So Walter then will start pole position unless Sevo Gamer can take it away from him, but that'll be unlikely. B410's down in the first sector. Where's Rudy? Rudy then in that middle sector. Looks like he's warming up his intermediates. Rudy up into P3. He finished on the podium last time out. His first podium in like 9 races. Nice to see him back at the podium last week. I don't think Sevo Game is going to go quicker in the middle sector. No, 1.8 seconds down. Where's Rudy? Rudy's going for it again. But I doubt this will be quicker because, as you can see, the rain is pouring in and the track conditions are getting much worse than it was a few minutes ago. And yeah, that's definitely not going to improve. Qualifying is done then. Walter is on pole position ahead of Mark. Rudy in P3. Total P's will start P4. Head Bob Pierre, the highest soft runner, ahead of Sevo. Nathan JB in P7. Foul Fury in P8. Milan in P9 and Mr. BT in P10. Mr. BT in the worst possible position on the soft compound tyres because he'll be surrounded by those medium runners. Needs to get a good start off the line, does Mr. BT. And yep, qualifying will be done. And I'll be back with you shortly. See, Wargamer wanted this the most screen time there. He's one of those. There's always one driver who does not retire when everybody wants to. There's always one. We could be straight into the formation like right now, but there's always one driver who doesn't retire. So, Walter on pole position by a tenth ahead of Rudy in P3 there. Total P's will start P4 ahead of Head Bompier. He's on the softs, remember. Sevo Gamer in P6 ahead of Nathan. Foul Fury is also a soft runner. Milan in P9 and Mr. BT, who's also another soft runner, but in the worst place he could start. To all the viewers who are watching this, I hope we all see a good race. Mark's on the front row, let's see what he could do. Will he get a good start off the line? Will he challenge Walter into turn 1? Or can he set him up to try and overtake him into turn 6? People who are here, let me know what your thoughts are. Who's going to win this race, do you think? So it turns out Jimmy Visser purposely tried to aim for P11 there. To reiterate the last week's results, Total P's 1 ahead of Walter, Rudy in P3 ahead of Jimmy Visser, Mark P4, P5, Griff P6, AJ in P7 ahead of Head Bompier, The Real DC P9, Nathan P10, J-Law P11, Dealwall P12, Sevo Gamer P13, Indie Jesus P14 and Jime P15. That was last week's results. While we're loading into the session, let's read out the championship standings. Walter is 92 points ahead of Jeroen Visser, who could possibly take the championship here if Jeroen Visser retires and Walter wins. Total P's is 30 points away from Jeroen Visser. Jeroen Visser's main rival is Total P's. Sevo Gamer in P4 ahead of Head Bompier, both of them looking good as well. AJ P6, Marks in P7 is on the front row, so could gain a few points here. Duel in P8, Griff P9, and Rudy P10 after scoring that podium and get himself back in the top 10. The Real DC in P11 ahead of Nathan in P12, Ice4 Knight P13, Alex in P14, Mr. BT in P15, Danny Boy P16, J-Law P17, Foul Fury P18, it's SpongeBob P19 and Milan on 0 points, but he's inside the top 10 and needs to finish this race if he wants to get his first points on the board. 31 laps is the race laps, 5.0 kilometers is the lap distance around here, and the tyre compounds are C3, C4, C5. Pit lane loss is 25 seconds, and the predicted strategy is mediums to hards or soft to hards. If you're Mr. BT, Foul Fury or Hit Bompier or anyone who starts on the softs outside the top 10, which would be an unwise thing to do. Let's have a look at the tyre strategies then outside the top 10. Hopefully, if that's not even popping up. Oh yeah, there it is. Sorry about that. So, Jeroen Visser on the hards, AJ on the hards, IndieG's on the hards, Ferg's on the hards. So, all 3 tyre compounds are being used in this race. Highest soft runner is Head Bompier. Keep an eye on him. He needs a good start and challenge those guys ahead of him. So does Foul Fury and Mr. BT. Mr. BT, like I said, in the worst position down in P10 with Foul Fury. Those two need some good pace around here. Most favourable tyre around here is the medium compound tyres. Good race tyre and obviously a good qualified tyre as well if you get absolutely spot on. Soft tyre has been the most malleable tyre. Very good for one lap pace, but obviously around this track where tyre wear is high, it degrades quite quickly, so watch out for those drivers in P5, P8, P10 to fall off the pace in about 6 or 7 laps time when the soft tyres will come to an end or gone at their peak. This is going to be an interesting one because I know Total P's. Wait, let's have a look at this comment first before we start the race. Not going to read those comments out for obvious reasons, but has Total P said he's got the race pace around here? Can he try and stop Walter? Can Rudy try and stop Walter? Mark as well? Walter, our championship leader, his main rivals down in P13 on the hard compound tyres, so keep an eye on Jeroen in this race. This is going to be a very interesting one. Can Jeroen Vizsla claw his way back through the field to try and score some crucial points? Lights are, and away we go. And Walter gets a fantastic start off the line. Here comes Total Peas on Rudy. Total Peas goes down the inside. Rudy tries to stick it around the outside. They go too wide then as Rudy has to go off the track. Here comes C4 Gamer as he goes down the inside of Het Bompje. C4 Gamer is ahead of Het Bompje. We've seen those two fight plenty of times, especially in Austria last week as well. But Het Bompje tries to go down the inside but has to back out of it. He is on the soft compound tyres as well, so he has to make some moves here because he'll be vulnerable to those medium runners around him. Here's Jeroen Vizsla on Double. He's still in P13. Side by side then they go. Will Jeroen Vizsla try and go around the outside? He's on the hard compound tyres. Has he got the grip to do so? And oh, look at that! Mr. BT gets squeezed against the wall. There's all sorts of cage. And that's Jeroen Vizsla. Jeroen Vizsla has spun. Mr. BT has retired from this race already. Carnage at the beginning of this race there. All kicked off when Mr. BT got squeezed against the wall. Who was that, I wonder? Was that Jaime who squeezed him against the wall? I'm not quite sure there. But anyways, it's ruined Jeroen Vizsla's race. He's down in P19. Alex is dropping down to P18 as well. But in the lead, Walter is leading Mark by 5 tenths ahead of Total P's. Further 3 tenths behind. So those three are fighting then for the first place. Rudy down there in P4. Lost a place to Total P's at the start of this race. C4 Gamer in P5. Het Bompje in P6. He's on the soft compound tyres. He has to try and make his way past if he can. Or try and stick with them at least. Nathan down there in P7. There's more yellow flags down there. And that is Jeroen Vizsla. No, we can't afford to retire around here. If he retires and Walter wins, I believe Walter's won the championship. That's if Walter wins this race. As Walter sets the fastest lap as we move on to lap 2 at 31 then. Total P's then in P3 stuck behind Mark. DRS will be enabled next lap though, so that's when the drivers will have to wait patiently for that letterbox to open to gain them extra speed down the straight. Val Fury has dropped into P10. It's not going to do him any favours at all. Good start from Total P's then. That's what he needed to get past Rudy. And Milan is behind Nathan as we make our way down into turn 6. Just making him sure, just letting him know that he is there and waiting to pounce at any moment. And Jeroen's in the pit lane then after losing his front wing. So Jeroen Vizsla can't afford to retire because that also means Total P's will gain a lot of points to him in the Drivers' Championship as well. I saw Knight then all over the back of Val Fury. You can see Total P's climbing all over the back of Mark. Looks like Total P's has got the edge early in this race. He's got decent race pace as Total P's been showing it all season long. Looks very comfortable in that Alpine. Oh, did he hit the wall there? Looks like I thought I heard him hit the wall, but if he did, got away with it. Het Bompje there, surrounded by the medium runners. Maybe he's just scraped the wall, that's why I heard that sound effect, but either way he's got away with it as DRS is now enabled then on lap 3. Will we see any moves being done down towards turn number 6 or 7? Het Bompje all over the back of C4 Game. I'm very sorry about this black box appearing on my left hand side of my screen because for some reason people keep inviting me even though they know I'm not going to join, so apologies if you do see that black screen. People just don't get the message, but I expect a big DRS train like I said at the beginning of this race. Really going off track there. I wonder if he'll pick up a track limit warning. You can only afford to do that twice, then the third time you'll pick up a penalty, so yeah, hopefully don't do that again. It's so easy to pick up a penalty around here. If you don't pick up a penalty, you'll hit the wall. You've got to be so consistent around here. You've got to stay. You've got to remain focused at all times around this track. Seagull game and then closing all over the back of Rudy. He's under pressure from head Bob here as well on those soft compound tyres as Dathan has got Milan for company behind him. Jam up into P9, he's outside the DRS range of Milan, 1.2 seconds, but he can do something about it. One ISO that goes down the inside. No, he doesn't. Forcing Foul Fury to go wide there into turn 14. Thought about making a move, but those soft compound tyres will be degrading even more then. You can see then a train performing behind Foul Fury. We've got Knight, we've got Duel, we've also got Ferg there, the hard compound tyres as well. Ferg is the highest hard runner. And ISO Knight will have the overspeed of Foul Fury into turn 1, but can he make a move? I think he's a bit too far back to make a move. He might have to think about it going down into turn 7. Quite risky to make a move into turn 1. You've got to be a fully ahead if you want to make it to turn 1. Back at the battle for the top 4 then. They're all in DRS range each other with Seagull Gamer down there in P5 and Het Bompje. This DRS train is led by Wouter. And ISO Knight making a move. Yes, he will then. Has the overspeed. Down the inside he goes into turn 7. Milan has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Foul Fury is still there as we make our way down into turn 8. They go side by side again. Foul Fury had the outside line, gets a better exit, and he's ahead of the Irishman. Now Duel is next to pass ISO Fury. So, to Griff pitted along with Jeroen Vizzer and Alex also pitted as well. So, those three are hoping for a safety car because they can be stuck down there if they don't have a safety car. Jeroen Vizzer on the medium compound tyres then, so expect him to pit yet again in this race. Because those mediums won't make it to the end of this race. Lap 34, lap 4 out of 31 here. Het Bompje and Foul Fury, the two soft runners in this race, P6 and P11. Het Bompje in P6 hanging on to the back of Seagull Gamer. As we roll to lap 5 out of 31 here. It looks like Duel was the closest man to try and make an overtake around this track. DRS enabled for Duel. It's very hard to overtake around this track. Expect a lot of DRS trains, but Total P's is right with Mark. Foul Fury goes deep into turn 3 though, as compromises exit, and here comes Duel. All Duel's going to do is try and set him up into turn 7, get a better exit through here, with use the DRS enabled. And there he goes then, there's the move, and Foul Fury drops into P12. And Duel up into P11, just outside the top 10. And ISO Knight 1.7 seconds ahead of Duel then. Look at that, Total P's right with Mark, as Mark's all over the back of Wouter as well. Was that a channel limit warning? Because look at that, he's all over the back of him. He's more confident in these corners than Mark. I want to see if he picked up a warning there, because he took a lot of curb in towards turn 13. Yeah, he did. He actually picked up a warning, so Total P is going to be careful not to pick up another warning. And Foul Fury is the second driver to pick up a 3-second time penalty. We head on to lap 6 of this race. Only one driver's retired, which is Mr. BT. And Foul Fury has been overtaken by... Oh, he's actually in the pits, that's why he's been overtaken by those drivers there. So, into pits on lap 6 in this race. Those soft tyres didn't go really far. And Het Bompje is the only soft runner left in this race. Still down there in P6, just holding on to the back of Seagull Gamer. Expect Nathan and Milan to be quicker at this stage now, but those soft tyres start to fade away from him. And Foul Fury will rejoin down in P16 on a brand new set of mediums then, so it's a 2-stop for him. Will Het Bompje try and make a 1-stop, soft or hard? Is that possible around here? I'm not quite sure, but if he doesn't, then it's a 2-stop for him. And look at that, Sevo Gamer all over the back of Rudy then. Thought about making an overtake down at turn 13 there. Mark closes in towards Wouter. This race will get better later on when the fuel load starts to drop and when people are not in big trains like these. Giant's almost in that 1 second range of DRS. In fact, he's just hovering around now. Yep, he's in the 1 second DRS range. So the top 8 to top 9 are in the DRS train. Then there's ISO09 who's 3.3 seconds further back. Dual 1.7 seconds, and Ferg in P12 with Indian Jesus, Danny Boy, AJ down there in P15. Val Fiore, the brand new set of mediums, P16, to Griff P17, Jeruvas at P18, and Alex in P19. On to lap 7 then we go. Wouter still leads by 5 tenths only. I wonder when Mark will start to pout on Wouter. Just trying to save up that battery around here. Waiting for the perfect opportunity to try to overtake him. And Iron Milan is right behind Nathan as we make our way into turn 7, but I can't quite make a move down there. Not just too far away. Another close battle out on track is between Danny Boy and Indian Jesus. Danny Boy on those medium compact tyres with Indian on those hards. AJ is also in that battle as well. Down there in P15 as Jeruvas has set the fastest lap of this race, being in clean air. ISO9 also in the top 10 as well, because he could score some decent points yet again after he retired in the last race with a collision with Mr. BT. Heading on to lap 8 out of 31 then, as Mark yet again has DRS as Head Bob Pitt is in the pit lane for his first stop on those softs. Wouter doing a good job in the lead of this race, defending from Mark and company behind him. As you can see then, all of them within a DRS train with each other, as Nathan hasn't got DRS because Head Bob Pitt pitted and he's not in a second with Sevo Gamer. Milan's just too far back to make a move, but Nathan then he needs to try and get in that DRS train to defend from Milan, otherwise it'll make it a bit easier for him as Milan locks up, goes deep but doesn't hit the wall thankfully. We've seen him do that twice in the race, or in the qualifying session where he hit the wall on his outlap. Head Bob Pitt rejoins in P15 then on the hard tyres, so I wonder if he's doing soft to hard whereas Fiore doing soft medium. Wonder, will the safety car come out in this race? As Rudy's outside the 1 second wire, he's just within it. In fact, he is in the DRS range of Total Ps. Needs to try to stay there because Sevo Gamer seemingly all over the back of Rudy, as Rudy suffers a lock up in towards turn 14. The third sector where it can be very difficult, very easy to misjudge and get wrong, especially here. Very easy to lose traction and hit the wall here as well. And also using the hit the wall here as well can be very difficult. As Total Ps is in the pit lane, that's a very early stop. He doesn't want to be in that DRS train, so the first medium runner to come into the pit lane, where will he rejoin? Will he come out in traffic? Bearing in mind they're all bunched up anyway, so he will rejoin behind AJ. Is he covering the undercut from Head Bob Pitt? Does he know that Head Bob Pitt is on the hard compound tyres being down there in P14? That's a very early pit stop. Will we see people start to come in the pit lane now with the undercut being triggered? Head Bob Pitt is coming around the final corner, and I think Total Ps stays ahead of Head Bob Pitt. Total Ps can get back up to speed then, and he's got 9 seconds ahead or behind Danny Boy, so he's got clean air ahead of him. Let's see what he could do. Worst case scenario for him is the safety car being deployed right now, otherwise, because that means Wouter, Mark, Rudy and all of them can start to pit and get ahead of him. So I wonder, will Mark, Walter, Rudy respond with that undercut threat from Total Peas? Will they stay out? Will Total Peas will definitely encounter traffic, because bearing in mind there's three hard runners ahead of him, so they're not going to pit anytime soon. They're going to take it a long way in this race. You can see the flashing light at the back of Walter's car as he's losing out on battery power, where he crucially needs it. Maybe he's pushing to try and do perfect out lap or in lap. Will Walter come in the pit lane this lap? And yes, he will. Into the pit lane comes Walter. Into the pit lane comes Mark and Rudy. A very tight pit lane as Mark goes wide. And ooh, that was so close, wasn't it? Hopefully they didn't hit each other. But C4 Gamer at Milan have picked up a 5-second time penalty for speed in the pit lane. Milan's retired. He's given up. He's given up. Yeah, that's a shame for him. Where is Total Peas? Will he rejoin ahead or behind Walter? Where is he? There he is. He got held up by Danny Boy a bit. Danny Boy's lost his front wing. Danny Boy has lost his front wing. I don't know how, but was that because of Total Peas? Did they make contact? And there's Rudy. And there is Walter. Will Total Peas get ahead of... Oh, that's so close between the two. And they go side by side now. Very close racing between the two on the pit lane exit. Total Peas rejoins ahead of Mark. The undercut, you could dare say, has almost worked, because here comes Mark on Total Peas again. Total Peas has the inside line. Will he squeeze him out? Yes, he will. Mark has to go off the track. He has the inside line for the next corner. These two are not backing out whatsoever, are they? It looks like Total Peas has the outside line. And here comes Danny. Inside goes Rudy. That's very tight. It doesn't make the move. So, Total Peas then, triggering the undercut, has put himself in a net P2. He's the one that caused the pit stops. He's the one that triggered the pit stops, and therefore put himself up to net P2. So it's worked for him so far. I wonder, did he get involved with a collision with Danny Boy? Because he might have lost a lot of time behind Danny Boy, because he was right next to him, behind him. Nathan JB is in the pit lane then for his first stop. Jaime continues on his way ahead of I7 Night. Total Peas is clear of Mark, so now we can chase after Walter. Total Peas were very smart strategy there, triggering an early undercut, and he got it, and it worked out beautifully for him as well. So basically, Rudy has been put off the podium down there in P10. Mark in a net P3, Walter in a net P1. Total Peas in P10 ahead of Mark. But bearing in mind, these guys are going to catch the hard runners, where AJ starting first. In fact, AJ will let it. Yeah, that's important for Walter, because teammate being ahead of him, AJ can let him through, and Walter and make him work hard against Total Peas. It's important that Total Peas follows Walter as quick as he can. He needs to stick with him, because it's going to be quite evident or clear that AJ will let Walter go. It happened in Austria. It's going to happen again. Daniel Collier, you're not racing. Oh. Jaime is in the pit lane with ISO Night. Danny Boy will take second place away. Duel continues on his way onto lap 12, leading the race. And here comes Walter then around the final corner, dragging along Total Peas. Mark there as well, down in P3 or P7, shall I say. Walter is 5.1 seconds behind his teammate AJ Wuhan down in P4. You can see him just there in the foreground. Total Peas knows that AJ is ahead of Walter, so he knows that he's going to try and make a move before they get up to Walter. But when they get up to AJ, he's going to make it hard for Total Peas. Let Walter pull away. So Total Peas knows that his teammate, Walter's teammate, is going to let him go. Yellow flag's down at sector 1 there. That's Danny Boy. He's made an error. See Total Peas all over the back of Walter. Seemingly, in the first stint now, Total Peas has got a much better race pace compared to Walter. And this is going to be a good haul of points. If he scores 30 points, and if Total Peas wins the race, and Jeroen doesn't score a point, they're going to be equal on points, I believe, Total Peas and Jeroen. Total Peas, Jeroen visibly down there, P15, with 1 point, I think, in P15. The point system is different. They gained about 1.5 seconds on that lap because Walter is 3.5 seconds behind AJ as we head up to lap 13 in this race. And Rudy is outside of 1 second dear. Oh, he goes off the track as well. Rudy pushed a bit too hard there. Might get a warning for that one by cutting the corner. You can see him using a lot of EOS as well. Hello Harvey Lees, how you doing mate for tonight's race? And Total Peas then all over the back on Walter. Closing, closing, closing. He knows he's gonna get past Walter because AJ is right there in the foreground. If Total Peas don't get past Walter, AJ will definitely hold up Total Peas. And Walter can pull away in the distance while he can. So it's very important for Total Peas to get past this man, to get past AJ as quickly as he can. Or get past Walter now and fight AJ in the track. Total Peas has been looking very strong in the second half of the season. Imagine if it was like this in the first part. It'd be a very good championship fight between Total Peas and Walter. I'll be very surprised if there's not a safety car in this race. Dual will start there on those medium compound tyres. I can't see him going from mediums to soft. There's no way really. You know what, if he's going to go from mediums to softs, he's going to pit on lap 22. DRS enabled just again for Total Peas, but obviously can't make a move into turn 1. There he is. There is AJ. Right there into turn 3. 1.7 seconds ahead of Walter. Total Peas knows what he's going to do, because AJ will make it very easy for Walter but very hard for Total Peas, so it's going to be difficult for him. There's the flashing light at the back of Walter's car. Total Peas will have it as well. They're both flashing. They're both derated on a straight. And Head Bompia has got past Sevor Gamer. They're going side by side now. Sevor Gamer has the outside line and he's ahead. Head Bompia might have undercutted him on the soft tyres, on the hard tyres. Now Walter is within DRS range of his teammate. Will AJ let him go into this corner? No, he doesn't actually. He don't want to lose time with Indian Jesus because remember AJ's got a race as well. There's the move. There's the move. Total Peas thinks I've got to get past him as quickly as I can now before. Do you know what? This reminds me of another league race I was in, because my rival was a Mercedes driver. And I got hauled up in this exact same place because it brings back flashbacks to my race actually. I know what it's like getting hauled up behind a Mercedes driver in this part of the track as well. This is the track where I put my gearbox, so also bad memories around here for me, but Total Peas has to get past AJ now. Absolutely frustrated knowing that somebody's got a teammate to hold you up. It's all over the back of him, and this is costing Peas a lot of time because he's outside the DRS range of Walter. Has to get past. I thought Total Peas picked up a penalty there, but it's actually Danny Boy. And Total Peas is finally ahead of AJ, and here comes Mark. AJ defends, can't defend enough there as Mark goes down the inside. Rudy hits the back, and he goes off the track as well. Rudy pushes so hard there, like he's done all season, and this is what cost him these podiums. By pushing a little bit too hard. What could Total Peas can do? Can he try and claw back that lost time behind AJ? I saw Knight has picked up a 3-second time penalty. He pitted 2 laps ago. He's down to P14. Drivers who have pitted is AJ, Indian Jesus, Ferg, and Duel. Ferg in a league of his own there in P2. Going as long as he can on those hard compound tyres, hards to softs. Duel doing a good job in P1, it must be said. I haven't talked about him much, but look at those medium tyres. You can see them just faded. He's currently doing a very good job down there in P1. And Walter has got Indian Jesus ahead of him. And it's Walter's job to get past him as quickly as he can, so we don't get held up behind him. How much of a fight is Indian Jesus willing to put up against Walter? Walter needs to overtake him down his straight, but with the lack of ERS, it's unlikely I'll do so. And crucially, does not get past him into this corner, so he'll be stuck behind him for one more lap if you don't get past him in this lap. This will help Total Peas with Walter. In corners like these, where you don't want to get held up, we'll get another shot at it with DRS down this straight. Be a very short straight, but can he make it straight? No, Indian Jesus gets a good exit. So Total Peas, Rudy's lost it. Oh, he's crashed under the Anderson Bridge, and he's lost his front wing for good measure too. I wonder did Zero Gamer get involved there? I'm not quite sure because it was right behind him. But anyways, more yellow flags in that sector. I'm not quite sure who it is, but Walter does not get past Indian Jesus. Can Total Peas close in on Walter? Total Peas is back in DRS range of Walter. So all that time Walter found on Total Peas managed to gain some of it back by him being stuck behind Indian Jesus. Indian Jesus will not put up a fight, and into turn 1 goes Walter. So Total P, Walter goes a bit deep there. Oh, that's Total Peas in the barriers. Total Peas has lost traction coming out of turn 2, and he's lost his wing. Total Peas has lost his wing, and he'll be very frustrated with himself for doing that. Rudy has retired in the pit lane, but Total Peas has to go a full lap without a front wing. And if you're Jeroen Visser, that is very good news for Jeroen Visser, because a championship rival or second place or your rival has lost his front wing and it's going full lap again without a front wing. I saw Knight going down the inside. He didn't have enough room, but he gets on the curb all squirrely there, and he didn't have enough room to try and get past Foul Fury. And that is AJ. AJ's also lost it as well, so these drivers are struggling, and Jaima's got past him. Walter 3.7 seconds now. It looks like Walter has this win in the bag if he doesn't make a mistake. Nathan, here comes Head Bumpy on Total Peas. Nathan's behind him. That's a shame for Total Peas there. Hasn't made a mistake, well, in this second half of the season. Then loses front wing around here in Singapore. Nathan goes around the outside. How far behind is Jeroen Visser from Total Peas? Quite far behind. Not quite sure actually. Bearing in mind Jeroen Visser has to pit again because those medium tyres can't really go to the end. Maybe they can, but I'm not quite sure. But look at Double up there in P1 with 17 lap hole mediums. AJ is in the pit lane as well. Switch over from hards to mediums. IS4 is right behind Val Fury as he tries to make an overtake again. Alex picks up a 3-second time penalty. Here comes IS4 on Val Fury, going down the inside into turn 7. Val Fury sticks it on the outside. Both are making contact again. Side pod to wheel. And IS4 has the outside line. Does he get ahead? Yes, he does. So IS4 is finally ahead of Val Fury. Teammate Mark down in P5 behind Indian Jesus. And Ferg has caught up to Dewall. Dewall's tyres are coming to an end. Look at the state of those tyres. They're coming to an end now, and Ferg caught up to the back of him, so you might see an overtake happen between these two soon. Remember, these were old championship rivals, Dewall and Ferg. Dewall winning 2 championships and Ferg winning the 1. They're back together on track. DRS enabled for Ferg then. Those hard tyres are in much better shape in comparison to those mediums. Ferg will have much better grip coming out of corners than Dewall. Can Ferg get a good exit coming out of turn 5 now? Use the DRS to try and get past him. He ain't got a good exit himself, so might be. He was using all of his ERS though. Can he go down the inside? No, he can't. Used a lot of ERS down the straight to try and close up on it. But here comes Mark on Indian Jesus into P4 he goes. Ferg still hasn't got past Dewall as Seaville gave us the fastest lap of the race. Could he get a good exit coming out of turn 13 and try and overtake him down into turn 14? DRS enabled for him, using the ERS as well. He's too far back to make a move. He's letting Dewall know he's there. And you can see Walter 1.9 seconds behind, so he'll be joining this fight very soon. If not, next lap. Dewall holding up Ferg. I think Dewall's lost all his performance in his tyres now. They're definitely coming towards an end. He almost hit the wall. And into the pit lane they both go. So that's very easy for Walter. Will they both go on the soft compound tyres? 11 laps? Can they do 11 laps on the softs? I don't think so. But I think, yeah, they can, but they'll be dead. They'll be dead towards the end, surely. Ferg goes on the mediums, whereas Dewall goes on the softs, so Dewall believes, well, Dewall's a tyre saver anyway, so I think he could go to the end of those softs, but they'll be worn out. Val Fury picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Val Fury's in the pit lane. Into the pits comes Javoon then, for his second stop in this race. Where's Total Peas? He's down in P15. It's not over for Total Peas yet, because he sets the fastest lap of the race, but it's not over for him because his main rival is in P15 anyway, so. And Nathan could get himself on the podium. He ain't talked about him much in this race, but he's done a fantastic job. And yellow flag's down in sector 1. Who is that? That's Danny Boy. And getting out of the way, his head Bompier's tyres are 11 laps old. Could we find head Bompier back at the podium? What happened to C4 Gamer down in P12? Yeah, he's down in P12. He made another pit stop in this race. So I wonder if he had front wing damage earlier on in his last 2 laps. AJ's behind to Griff. Obviously, AJ having better tyres compared to Griff. Dewall's on the soft, so keep it on him. Will he try and take P6 away from ISO9? He's got a 6-second gap to try and close in. And look at head bump here. C4 Gamer going around the outside. That's a good move. That is a really good move from C4 Gamer there. I wonder why AJ was going in so acute. But C4 Gamer locks up and almost hits the wall. And AJ does the switchback. We'll go down the inside then. C4 Gamer trying to stick it around the outside. Yellow flags is set to, why is this yellow flags for? I'm not quite sure, but C4 Gamer up into P11. To Griff has got a lot of T Griff has got medium runners behind him, which is C4 Gamers, AJ and Total P's. Total P's, C4 Gamer behind to Griff in turn 1 we go. AJ P12 there, Total P's and P13. All close together. Should be easy move into turn 8. DRS enabled on this lap. Yep, very easy for him. Good overspeed, and will AJ follow shortly? Oh, contact there. Total P's around the outside, and AJ's just lost a position while gaining 1-2. Interestingly, Ferg is still in contention with DRS despite AJ Double being on the soft compound tyres. So it shows Ferg's got some good pace. I think Ferg, he got knocked out of Q1 and he's recovered beautifully to go to P8, and he's behind Double. Double should be quicker. He is quicker than the Sauce because he's catching ISO night at a rate of knots, and dragging along Ferg as well. Total P's behind C4 Gamer. Mark's too far away to try and put pressure on Walter. It's a battle between Head Bompier and Nathan JB, with Head Bompier being on the old 13, being 3 laps older compared to Nathan's tyres, or 4 laps older. Total P's being stuck behind C4 Gamer. AJ in contention behind Total P's. Nathan's picked up a 3-second time penalty, has possibly thrown himself out of the podium possibility. Javin Vizza has set the fastest lap of this race. Total P's code out. Total P's hasn't got past C4 Gamer yet, and the gap between ISO 9 and Duel is 1.3 seconds now. It's going down ever so quickly, and he's also dragging along Ferg. I think when Duel's tyres will go off, that's when Ferg will be on the attack, because if Ferg's got good pace on these mediums at this stage, then later on he should definitely get past Duel because of those tyres being still good. Total P's hasn't got past C4 Gamer yet. Down at turn 14, I say yet, but C4 Gamer got good pace as Rudy has retired, sadly for him. Been down there P18, picked up a podium last time out in Austria, but hasn't gone his way. I couldn't exactly remember what happened to him, but Double is right behind ISO Knight. They caught up to him very quickly, so ISO Knight will have ISO Knight will have 2 drivers behind him. Making our way onto the turn 5 now as we head onto the straight. ISO Knight will be vulnerable, and there goes Duel. Will Ferg follow swiftly? He needs to get past him so he doesn't lose his connection with Duel. And down the inside, it's going to be a risky move. Down the inside he goes into turn 7, now coming through turn 9. And he's got past him around the outside, so hasn't much lots time. But there's Total P's going down the inside of C4 Gamer. They may both made contact into turn 8. Now going through turn 9, they go. Total P's as the outside line and up into P10. The next one up is Indian Jesus, but that'll be very hard for him because Indian Jesus, very fast driver, and he's also the medium compound tyres, fresher than Total P's, so it's quite difficult for him to try and close in on the German driver there. Mark 4.1 seconds behind Walter with P1. Head Bompier, it looks like he's going to be safe now with P3 because Nathan in P4 with the 3-second time penalty, he ain't gonna be a threat. Maybe he is on track, but in terms of penalties, head Bompia has the advantage. Jaime, we haven't talked about him much. He's in P5. Could he? He's too far away to try and reduce that gap to Nathan. Just watching this battle between Duval and Ferg, and Duval's teammate has crashed in the wall! Is that going to be a safety? Yeah. So, my man Indian Jesus has brought out a safety car within the last few laps of this race. Will bring the pack together, and Duval in P6 on the soft compound tyres is looking good as well. So it's brought a different picture in this race now, as Indian Jesus has caused a safety car. Will we see any of the top runners go into the pit lane? Let's go on board with Walter. Walter's lead has been flushed away with that safety car now appearing. So we've got four drivers retiring in this session, with 16 left to go, 16 drivers left to go, and Walter's decided to stay out. Mark hasn't pitted. We'll head Bompia. Nathan's in the pit lane. Jaime being further back, Ferg in P7 there. In the pit lane goes Jaime. In the pit lane goes Duval. Stays out Ferg. And I4 Knight in the pit lane. So where will Nathan be joining this? Behind Ferg, I believe. On the soft brand new set of soft compound tyres as he runs over the AlphaTauri team member. I could see Ferg getting a podium, being down there with P4 on the medium compound tyres, as his pace is looking very strong. He could be in contention for a podium. In fact, he is in contention for a podium. So could he could it be Ferg's race towards the end of the race? Can he try and win this race? Second podium of the season after being away for a while, doing his own thing. I'm wondering why the Red Bull of Alex has decided to stay out there. Jeroen Visit on a brand new set of softs. He could try and gain a few positions after having a terrible race after he crashed on the open. He spun on the opening lap and picked up a bit of damage off as well. Hello, Kalen. How are you doing? Duval's in a brand new set of softs, so those haven't worried to take the tyres to the end. Oh, could the top three be in a bit of trouble, I wonder, with those guys further behind on those medium and soft compound tyres? AJ decided not to pit. He stayed out there. Thinking track position is more crucial. Let's have a look at the comment. P2 in tier 2, that's I'm glad to hear, Kalen. So what strategy did you go for, and how many safety cars came out? Jime. Hello Jime, how's it going? A P8 on the brand new set of softs. He's been quiet in this race, and the two guys ahead of him have got a penalty to their name, Ethan and AJ. Could find himself in a very good position because Total P's and Ferg on the soft compound tyres he could be on the podium. And Alex has got a long way to catch up down to P15. 16. Danny Boy is a lap down, and there he is. Where is he? He's P4 on the. He's P5 on track. So Total P's would not be a happy man with that Danny Boy in the way. Just waiting for Alex to catch up. Walter's got a lot of work to do. Well, like two guys behind him on the hard compound tyres. Bompier, massive trouble because Ferg's on the medium compound tyres with Total P's on the medium compound tyres as well. Safety car is going in the next lap because I think that's when Alex will catch up. We had a bit of rain earlier in the qualifying session in Q1 and Q3 on this track. It was alright, it wasn't too bad. It's been a good race so far with the 16 drivers going at it. Walter desperately needs to try and get some tyre temperatures in his tyres so we can try and pull away. He's in a bit of bother because the guys behind him on a brand new set of mediums and softs as well, so they're going to be very quick towards the stage of the race. Keep an eye on AJ Nathan in P6 there. He's the highest soft runner in this race. This could be very interesting in the last few stages of this race. Alex is catching up finally. Javine Vizzer and Alex have pitted for a brand new set of softs. I really hope the safety car comes in this line because I want to see some action. Please. Walter's begging that safety car stays out longer because he knows in a bit of bother. Well, Head Bompier especially down there. In P3, Head Bompier, in P3, Head Bompier trying to and safety cars in this lap. Head Bompier clinging on for the podium because Relentless Ferg is in P4 and he can sniff a podium with those medium compound tyres to his advantage. I think winning the race might be a bit too hard, depends how quick he gets past Head Bompier and Mark. Safety car is in this lap and we are going to enjoy the last few laps together. Here we go then, these last few laps of the race. Walter will decide when to go. There's the safety cars gone in and off they go for the last 15 laps and 5 laps. Total Peace gets past Danny Boy. And look at Ferg already making a move on Head Bompier as we go down the inside together. Oh, for God's sake. And Total Peace in P5 could be back on for podium if he doesn't pick up a penalty. He's on the medium compound tyres, Nathan behind him on the soft compound tyres, so he could be a pain in his ass on those soft compound tyres. And there's Jime on the softs versus AJ on the mediums. Will Jime go down the inside or try and do something else because AJ's defending the inside line? They both get squirrely on the exit there. both trying to get back at the throttle. Look at that. Giant goes around the outside, has the inside line. And look at Ted Bombia. Total Peace could find himself back in the podium, but Nathan, JB, all three of them on different tyres. This could be so interesting to see who's on the podium as Nathan touches the back of Total Peace. On those soft compound tyres, this could be very interesting in this race. Jeruvasa gets past to Griff. They go side by side, but Griff is not backing off, is he? No, he's not. Look, go down the inside into turn 14 there. He outbakes himself and he almost goes into the wall. And Total Peace takes Jeruvasa takes P12. Look at that. Duval's made contact with somebody. IS5 R12 has to take avoided action. C4 Gamer definitely has to take avoided action. They go side by side. This is so close between the two. IS5 R12 squeezes Jeru and they both squeeze each other. They're not giving up, are they? Total Peace. IS5 R12 gets Total Peace touches the wall. Foul Fury picks up a 3-second time penalty. Total Peace is right behind Het Bombia. And Ferg is right behind Mark as well. Ferg looking to try take P2 or possibly the race win away as Duval's in the pit lane after making contact with IS5 R12. Both using ERS on the straight then, and Total Peace, when he try and get past him, there he is. Down the inside, they both make contact. Oh, he gets into sideways in the wall. Ferg behind Mark gets a bad exit coming out of turn 8-9. Thought for one moment Ferg could try and go down the inside, but I believe DRS will be enabled next lap anyway for helping Total Peace. Nathan behind Total Peace, they're swapping, but oh, contact's made there. And Jeruvas has sent it down the inside. Up into P7 he goes, damage limitation. I dare say, oh god. Whew. Look at these drivers, all desperate to try and gain the last few positions they possibly can by the safety car. Foul Fury has overtaken C4 Gamer down the inside. Alex thought he could make a move down the inside. Mark has to stay in DRS range of Walter in P1. As we make our way around the final two corners. No DRS, it has been enabled. Total Peace could find himself back on the podium. But there's Nathan in the background as well. Total Peace, after losing his front wing, and look at Nathan, he's right behind him. Total Peace, after losing his front wing, could find himself back in the podium. As long as he don't make contact with Nathan, because Nathan obviously is not going to back out because my guy's a racer. And he doesn't want to like throw away a potential podium. Down the inside he goes. No, he can't quite make it. Down the inside goes Ferg on Mark. Can he try and go around the outside? Oh yes he can. Yes, he's done it. That's a beautiful move for Ferg there. As Nathan JB gonna try and go down the inside. It's gonna be so close between the two. He's actually gonna make it. Stick. Oh yes, with no contact. There's Jime. Jime could, if Jime overtakes Total Peace, he could find himself on the podium. Oh, who was that? That's Jeruva's teammate. Jeruva takes advantage of that. I don't think Jime will be a happy Dutchman. Down the inside he goes on his Dutch teammate. Look at that, they get squeezed. They're squeezing each other against the wall. They're both fighting, desperately trying to. They make contact between each other. Oh, he no! Nah, he lose. I don't know what to say about that one, man. I don't know what to say, but yeah, Jeruvas gets put in the wall by his teammate, and AJ spins. This has been a messy few laps of this last few races. Jeruvas has full wing damage, and he can't turn in. Bless him. Back to the front. Nathan is right behind Mark. Total Peace down there in P5. Oh, down the inside goes Alex on Jime. Can Nathan take away P3 away from Mark? Ferg, it's the last lap. He's a racer, not going to sit behind. He can race like he don't have a penalty. And down the inside goes Ninja on Mark, and he takes P4 away from him. Down the inside goes Total Peas. They're both racing for position, these two, because they both have got a penalty. Can't quite make the move stick, can he? And down the inside goes Jeroen on Foul Fury. There's ISO Knight down in P6 there after a chaotic race as Jeroen has retired. Walter is the world champion! Walter has, I think he's won the championship, has he? I'm not quite sure. That's it for Jeroen. I think Walter won the championship, I'm not quite sure. 36, 40, 80, 120. 10, 20, 30. I'm not quite sure. Mathematics is not... Here comes Walter. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Mark will finish in P2 ahead of Total P's in P3. And that, what a race as Alex gets himself into P7. To Griffin P8. Jaime P9. That was a messy few laps for those guys. Dewar versus Het Bompier. As I will add the drivers to the podium interviews. So that's... I'm not quite sure if he's won the championship or not. If he could definitely win the next race, no matter what position he finishes in. Just waiting for the top 3 to join the podium interview now. I can speak to the drivers. That's what I love doing after a race, just speaking to the drivers. Should be happy. Are they happy? Looks like the other two are not gonna join the party then. So Total Peas, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's Barter. Can you all make sure your voices are allowed to be shared, please? I'll say it again. Can you all make sure your voices are allowed? So, hello guys. Congrats on the top three in that chaotic race in the last few chaotic race in the last few laps when the safety car came out. I'm going to start with P3 upwards. So, Total Peace. I know you're going to be very annoyed with yourself because you lost it out of turn 2 and hit the wall, I believe, and you fell down to P12 after the pit stops, but you managed to claw your way back after the pit stops and got yourself back at the podium. So you must be very happy. Well, you must be happy / annoyed with yourself to still get back at the podium after making contact with the wall and losing your front wing.
Yeah, I'm happy that I got saved by the safety car, but the whole first 18 laps was just hell, and there was just stuff after stuff after stuff that set it back. But GG on the championship first of all to Walter, because he's been the most consistent this season.
So he's the guy. I mean, he's definitely won the championship.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I can say nothing else but congrats. But yeah, today just didn't go my way. I think I had the pace to win, but it just went south. Nothing I can do.
Congrats on P3. Moving on to, Mark, how do you think your race went?
Pretty good. I had a lot of fun. It was a long race, but I put in a good quali lap to take me P2 and finish P2. So there's nothing I can do better than that. I feel like P2 was given to me because P's had that slip in turn 1, but that's his error. So I'm gonna take P2 any day.
Congrats on P1. Sorry, congrats on P2, sorry. Did you find the race difficult with the tyre wear?
Not really. I mean, everyone knew going in he had to do a medium soft. Whoever did the soft was gonna have a slight disadvantage, which played out at the end even with the safety car. Even though actually some people pitted for softs and mediums in the end, and take it from Ferg, who did a hard medium, or I believe a hard medium. I don't think he did 2 mediums. He stayed out and he got a good. I mean, he got P4 from like P19 or P18, so a good result for him. But no, tire wear wasn't really an issue. I mean, the hards at the end, after about 21 laps, were still only like 30%, 35%. So no issue there.
Was it when you found out everyone pitted behind you on that safety car? Did you think that you were going to struggle towards the last few laps with everybody being on the medium / softs as well? Did you think you might lose a chance on the podium?
Yes. Because me and Wouter were just talking, we're like, should we pit, and then we didn't pit, and like, oh shit, we might have, sorry, language. We like, oh crap, we might have pit, should have pit, but no, it came out okay. Ferg got past me, Nathan got past me, but they both had penalties. I was on, like, I was one off, and I got the second warning like on the penultimate lap, so I was being very, very careful. But no, I mean, they were a challenge because they had fresh tires, fresh pace, but still came out good in the end because I stayed penalty free.
I'm happy for you being back in the podium.
The championship as well, yes. Because
yeah.
I am currently in a P4 fight with Seeb, AJ and Bumpia, so this is a great points haul for me because Seeb barely got any points, AJ I believe got P10 and Bumpia got like P12, so take this all day.
Congrats. Walter, your championship now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So is it confirmed now that you're champion?
I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but if I have my things right, it should be. It should be done.
Congratulations on being the championship. You thought you deserved it with that mighty pace and less mistakes in the whole season. So you should be really happy with yourself on that.
Yeah, thanks.
And I was expecting you to win it in the next 2 races, so I gotta get it early. So